Heartland Visioning is a community-based project that is working toward achieving the goals and desires of a community-wide vision that was created by the community.
I just think Heartland Visioning is probably the neatest thing that's ever happened to Topeka, Shawnee County. It's the catalyst that's been able to bring those that are less fortunate together with those that are very fortunate. The younger generation with the older generation, so that we're all on the same sheet of music, and that sheet of music is all about making Topeka, Shawnee County a better place to live.
Heartland Visioning is important to Topeka because it provides a way for Topekans who hadn't talked to each other before about their hopes and aspirations for our community to work together. It's a conduit. It makes it possible for people to engage each other and work together, and when they do that, great things happen.
It's working together to find what, as a community, our strengths are, work on those weaknesses that we need to improve on, and then move the whole idea forward.
The basic premise behind it is to gather community input and work toward what the community says their goals are. So it really is community-driven, consensus-driven, and that's what makes it so successful.
Some of the bigger known projects, NOTO, the North Topeka Arts District, and the Downtown Project, or has now become the Capital District Project, are two pretty key projects.
Look at NOTO. The effort to develop an arts district in North Topeka directly came out of Heartland Visioning.
Obviously, without Heartland Visioning, Anita Walgass and I and the rest of the board members and what's happening over here wouldn't have occurred. That was the stimulating factor. And then what that brought out was just an increased level of volunteerism. In fact, what we call ourselves now are more community activists. A volunteer is somebody who gets appointed to the board, maybe serves on a committee. No, our board is filled with community activists. They take on responsibilities and they follow through.
I think the Shawnee County largest workout with Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods was, we had 500 people that were excited and had a great time and had fun.
Specifically with the downtown area here, through some of the Heartland Visioning meetings that I went to, the main idea, the main focus that the community said one of the key objectives was to improve the downtown. So through that, obviously there's been the development of the Capital District project and various other efforts that tie together that we're starting to see actual tangible results from what the community said they wanted, and I think that will continue for the next few years and hopefully indefinitely.
Another thing that came out of Heartland Visioning was our efforts to complete the streets, our Complete Streets campaign, to make it possible that as we design new roads and repair roads, we had elements that make it usable for all people who are walking, biking, not just pushing cars down the road. Those are the kinds of projects that are making a huge difference in the quality of life in our community.
When you say Heartland Visioning, I just burst with pride. And I'm so excited about what we've got planned for the future.
I think Heartland Visioning is the future of Topeka. I think the table will get bigger and or smaller depending on the project, but it will be the catalyst that will help Topeka, not necessarily always organizing it and being the doers of it, but help Topeka to get around that table, to talk to each other, and eventually lay the foundation for a number of growing projects for Topeka, Shawnee County.
Heartland Visioning has taught people how to talk to each other. So, in my mind, the most important role is the constant collaboration that occurs now that never occurred before. We have a community that has large portions of it who weren't talking to each other before, working together now, and that's the critical part of Heartland Visioning to me.
Having a vision is about knowing where you want to go. And you can't go someplace until you know where you're headed. The value that Topeka and Shawnee County has, that it knows where it wants to go as a community, puts us one step ahead of other communities who are not doing that. However, at the same time, we've seen other communities who have done that well ahead of us. And they are good examples of when you can get the community together and agree upon this is the direction we want to go, that's when things can happen. That's when the power of a community comes together and makes things happen. They may, they don't agree all on the method, but at least what you get are projects that actually start moving the community together forward.
Every meeting I ever attend, whether it has to do with Heartland Visioning or not, there's people involved in one way or another. So as I've said, I don't see this slowing down. Heartland Visioning is a part of us now. It's not going to go away.